Hey David, what do you got there, man?
Hey Alex, welcome back to Auburndale. We got today a couple of big guy boats, and it's nice. I got them side by side here, so you're going to be able to see them how they are right next to each other. This is the Wilderness Systems Tactical Pro 128. It's new this year from Wilderness Systems, probably one of the biggest boats they've ever made. And of course, this is the XTR 130 that we've got from Bonafide Kayaks. So 12 foot 8 and 13 feet, big boats. Both of these have the new swivel seats, 360 seats. Both of them are made to take motors, of course. You can still paddle them a little, but it's best for the motor. We're liking the Newport motors. I just put one on there just for display, but it's not fully rigged, but it just clips right on there with 4 screws. It's ready to go on this unit or this unit. They made it very easy. So yeah, check it out. Come down here, let's look at them closer.
Let's go.
But first, let me just tell you a little bit about Piscifun. This epic carbon XT, and I call it epic because it's so light. Like, this reel is extremely light, and it's gonna make easy, quick work of any bass you catch out there. And I have it paired up with this carbon R1 medium lights, 7 foot long, and it's just so sensitive. Like, seriously, this thing still have the backbone to fight a big fish. If you want to buy some of them and save some money, I'm gonna put an affiliate link down below. There's also a code AFL18, and it's gonna save you some money and also support the channel.
Where do we even begin with this two?
There's so much to unpack here. Let me undo this here
I
for a
can see
second.
that, but they both share a few things. Basically, the reason for them to exist.
They're fishing kayaks for sure.
But are they more like boats?
They are. They're like small boats, big kayaks and small boats, but it's the most stable that you've ever been in. You can stand up in them and cast. I think you're gonna see some of the tournament anglers start using big boats like this. I'm still not sure about the double motor situation with 2 motors or just 1 motor. I think that's only 1 motor on some of these tournaments. So you have to decide if it's gonna go in the front or the back, but this Wilderness Systems Tactical Pro, man, they've got it set up, ready to go. Do you see what that is? It's already, that's from the factory. That's a lifter for the motor. So they've done a lot of neat things on this, and they've got this. They've got the flat deck for it, coming right off
With the plate already built
Plate's
in?
already there. They put a nice little hatch in it, and it's already pre-rigged. Look at that. So you already have the plug-in that they give you. This one has something the XTR doesn't have. This is like full hatches. It comes with the hardware, of course. When you buy it new, it's got the plug-in that just hooks to your motors. This is the handles for lifting, and it's sealed. Look, it's a sealed box. You could probably plumb it for a live well. I don't know anybody that's done it yet, but or just maybe not a recirculating live well, but just a circulating live well in there, or just for storage. Who knows? I know a lot of guys don't necessarily use live bait, but a lot of people do. So that's a nice feature on this boat.
Something that people don't think about is weight capacity. And these two boats, yes, these 2 boats with not having a hole in the middle will add more buoyancy to them. I heard something about 700 pounds capacity.
We haven't tried it. I don't know. That's
so maybe we need to get
put that kind of weight in it.
Maybe we should get a few people on it and see what's up.
See, it comes with a removable bucket, so a lot of storage space down in there too.
So these 2 kayaks were released or unveiled at ICAST, and everybody was complaining about it. Can we go back to the old days where we had like kayaks like that? But I think this is what people want, right?
I sell a few of them. Business calls.
All right, don't worry.
Right back.
I'll go ahead and
Action Watersports is David. All right, okay, bye.
I forgot that you're still mic, so it's,
Huh?
I forgot you still had the mic, so I couldn't just continue talking because you.
I'm on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lady bringing me a pro angler for consignment for sale.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna go back to finish. You want to finish walking through this one?
We're gonna do a dedicated walkthrough for that. Let's more compare them.
Yeah, comparing the two.
Yeah.
Why don't you get down low and look at the hulls? Maybe, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
Nice
so
to see. You have more of a tri-hull on this side, on the Wildy.
yeah, I think. I mean, even though Bonafide put the bolt thingy for trailing, like they didn't go as boat-like as Wilderness System is trying to do. Like, I don't think they wanna even say that they're a kayak. They're more like a small plastic boat if you look at it.
Yeah. They're not calling it a kayak. They're just calling it by the name of what it is. Just the Tactical Pro.
Exactly. I haven't flipped any of them, but looking at this too, I wouldn't be surprised if the Tactical is actually more stable because of the way that it's designed. It has that aggressive tri-hull design, which is gonna be more stability than this one on paper, but we do need to test it. And on the bow, you got a place to put a bow-mounted trolling motor.
I've got one back here on a cart, another Tactical Pro if you want to get underneath it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there soon. I'm just trying to compare the differences. You still have a hatch right here that it does not get on the way of that trolling motor. And over here on the other side, you get the Bonafide hatch, and yeah, it may get on the way, but let's open it up. Okay. This one definitely looks more like a boat.
Yeah. I really like the high seats that they're going with them now.
Exactly. And
the high seat is so high that it's very, very easy to stand up and sit down.
oh my God.
The transition, because it's just so simple. There are a couple of differences in these about moving the seat. The XTR is on a track system. You
Yes.
can move it back and forth. Oh, also you can add a second seat to the XTR. That makes it a tandem.
That's another thing. You could
This-
definitely make it a tandem here.
This one here, I don't know of them making a seat for it because this seat doesn't have sliders. It does slide like this. You can pinch this here and it slides forward and back onto the base that it's using, but it doesn't actually slide the length of the whole boat like the XTR does. So I don't know what it's going to be like.
The way the STR seat works is you have to get rid of this
You have
hatch.
to take that hatch off.
And look at this. Over here, you could basically do the same thing.
Well, yeah, it's possible. So I have an extra XTR seat here. If someone came to buy this boat that wanted to put the second seat on it, that's how you would do. You would take this off, and there's four mounts right here that coincide with these bases, and there's some thumb screws that come with the seat. So it just sits on there, and the thumb screw screws it down in there.
And just like that, it becomes a tight.
Yeah.
What
So
am I
the
saying?
front person will be sitting here with this. This is gone. There's just 4 screws. You take this out, and now it becomes a tandem.
But you see, it's not on the track system. It's just adding the seat to it, and
Yeah.
you got tracks here, here, and there, so you could definitely get the same idea.
Yeah, I don't know what seat would work, but I'm
the
sure
same
you could
seat,
make something.
the same seat. All you have to do is just make a bigger base. Like it's a DIY project, but you could totally add a second seat to this and make it a tandem because it's the same idea.
Yeah. Nobody's done it yet that I know of.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so I wouldn't give an edge to that one based, I mean, at least they thought about it, right? They thought about from the beginning doing this as a tandem kayak if you wanted to. This one is more like your one-person fishing boat, but the way that it's designed could definitely take a second seat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we look over here, let's say you have a motor here and you have to open this hatch, right? It sort of like maybe interferes with it. And over here, it doesn't. But you get less
Yeah,
space.
this one they include a bucket. There's no bucket on that one.
But you got more space underneath to do stuff. Like a lot of people want to put computers and stuff for their forward-facing sonar and whatever. I think the STR will allow them to make better use of that.
Mm-hmm.
But over here, I mean, I guess you still have space,
You still have
right?
space. You could.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of room in there.
Oh my God, it's a lot of room. Probably more room than over here. That's what I'm saying. This boat is like, it's bigger, isn't it? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, it's so hard to say how much.
This comparison.
They both feel really big to me.
Exactly. They're
Coming from the
huge.
kayak world, they're just getting bigger and bigger. By the way, there's an internet rumor. I just got to talk about this. There's an internet rumor that Bonafide's going to make a XTR 160. You heard that rumor out there?
Yeah.
That's not true. I know directly from the source. It's not true.
Is that 165?
That's not 165. It's just not true at all. So that was just an internet rumor going around. They don't have any plans for making a XTR 160.
That's our friend Chad who were making a joke that people took too
Everyone
seriously.
takes it too serious, yeah.
Exactly.
So, anyway.
So, I mean, the STR sort of like slimmed down in the middle, and you got those giant sidewalls, and it's designed like that on purpose so you could paddle it better. And I think it will paddle a lot better than this one over here. The thing is that you're not buying these boats to paddle. You're buying these boats to motorize either with bow or rear motor. But I mean, again, it's an eye opener to see them like this side by side, because you definitely have more space over here, even though maybe it's a choice in the design, right? Because you could still put the rods here, and even though they're not protected,
This has the rod stagers that comes with it.
exactly. So it's a different way of doing it.
This
So-
one here, I guess they're expecting to add rod stagers to the tracks, because you actually have a nice track system everywhere on this boat.
But if you look at it, you could just lay down the rods on the side. Look
just
how
right
much,
inside.
And in here, you could do the same thing. It's just that there are more.
I have a rod
exposed.
here. So yeah, here's pretty much a full-size rod. They just lay in there.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. And since look where it is, it's not gonna get wet because this area here shouldn't get wet.
Versus this one, the rod goes in, and then you put the little stager on to keep it from falling off of the boat.
Yeah, that one has a much better looking way of keeping the rods, right? Because they're right there and you can see them.
Yeah,
but
the cockpit area is wider here
yeah,
that we have.
that's what I was saying
So you're
earlier.
looking at the inside area of the cockpit. It's 30. It's just under 32 inches on the inside.
on the inside.
On
This
the
one is
inside.
tricky though because you got a wider area here and then it
But
gets
this
slimmer.
one here on the inside, see, is 24 inches.
Wow.
So it is definitely wider on the inside. So there's more room. It's strange. There's more room in this boat.
The other thing is I got in a lot of comments. People were concerned that if they are measuring a bass and it's here, that the walls are not high enough to stop that bass from jumping.
This way?
Yeah. And
So this is right at about 4 inches here. This one here is,
it's high.
yeah. This one is like 8. It's about double, 8 inches.
Wow. Now
Cockpit area.
the seats are probably even, right? 360, each
Let's
of
see
them are
how
360.
from the bottom to the seat that's a foot
Yeah,
on there. This one here, this is actually a little higher.
it's a little higher.
This one here is just under 14 inches.
I think I like this seat better because it's wider. Like it's
Which one?
This one looks a little slimmer.
The seat bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, where you actually the space
Bottom?
that-
That's 19 inches
and this
across
one
there. And this one is
almost 20, right?
that's almost 20, so it's just a tad bit. It's not much.
So if you're a bigger guy, definitely go for this seat.
It's a half inch.
Well, it does. Also, you got straps. You could. I mean, I don't know, but
There are
anyway.
straps on both of them, right?
But this is longer, right? The actual where you actually sit is longer.
Let's see here. So we want to talk about from where the seat comes down.
Yeah,
So that's 20 inches
20 inches.
under the seat. This one here is 15 inches. So
What do you think about that?
it's much more seat area, surface area.
What do you think is
On-
gonna be more comfortable?
I don't know. I truthfully haven't been able to spend much time in either one of these boats.
Yeah.
So.
No, but I will be testing that on the water today once I get on it. I do have a feeling that this seat will be more comfortable because it feels like it's higher and it's wider. But if you're a smaller person, that one may be better.
Right.
I guess it depends on what you're looking for. In terms of handles, they got the same idea: gear track and handles on the side. Look,
yeah, the
double
gear track
handle.
is the handle. Huh?
But they got double handles over here.
Right. Yeah. You can two-hand this boat right here.
Wow.
So that's on this one. You only have one hand.
Yeah.
So you do. I feel like you have a little more control being able to two-hand it if you had.
Exactly.
If you had a buddy or you had to load it up into the back of a pickup truck.
It makes it a lot easier. And a lot of times you want to strap them to the pickup truck and maybe the handle is not in the right place. Here you got two.
Yes.
This here, I mean, it's probably the same to just have a storage solution. But like you said, you could probably turn this one into a live well. And you could definitely put a pump in there and pump the water out.
Yeah, this one's not going to be a live well.
No, because it's got scuppers.
Yeah, well, it's just cut out.
Right. This is a different take. So you got sacrificial
You have rigging
plates.
plates.
Rigging plates. And over there you got the same thing. If we could take a look at it here, we got one here that's already set up for the motor.
I love how they've pre-installed that. Back here in the back, look, it's already pre-installed with a battery box. You see the battery box in there?
That's right, and they built it inside the hull so it would add more stability to the hull.
All you have to do is hook up your motor or your battery to here, hook the other plug in up to your trolling motor and plug it in up there, and it's wire free. The wiring is already
It's already done for you.
Yeah.
Which is a plus.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people would like to do their own wire because they want to get a higher gauge wiring.
That's a very basic, easy setup that's included. You don't find that in a lot of kayaks these days. So
you got more of those plates over here.
Yeah, rigging plates.
A lot of people are putting that yak power thing that is a 2 inches round hole. Maybe you don't want to be doing that to this kayaks. It costs a lot of money, but if you have these plates, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah. I'm a little concerned with the seat just being in this place. Like you cannot move it forward if you want.
No, you have some adjustments here.
Yeah.
But the seat itself doesn't move from this base.
And that may be enough, but over here with the STR, you got more flexibility.
So, yeah. Another thing I wish that both of these companies would have done was put in a decent foot pedal system.
Yes.
You know, so with that one, people are usually having to buy the Wizard foot pedals because these, and I had to rig a boat one time.
They get stuck.
They get stuck. They're not the smoothest. And so it would be so much better if they put a system in that will actually slide better because these they get stuck, they jam.
Like have the Wizard set up from factory, right?
Yeah.
They did try to make this easier to steer by putting it as an angle. So you're pressing down instead of up, so it makes it easier. But yeah, this design from the old Bonafides, SS127, yeah, they're not the best, I should say.
So yeah, and so Wilderness, I asked them about that, and this is what they told me to put in. This is the Wilderness foot steering stern system. It's not as in depth as the Wizard, but it's not as much money either. But these will bolt directly into
the inserts right here.
Yeah, the inserts. They're already set up with the inserts. So this kit here is $145. And but it just bolts in, then you have a slider system. Or you could put on the Wizard system too.
Yeah, I think I will go for the Wizard. No offense, Wilderness, but that one looks like old school. We wanna upgrade, right? We move back here under the seat. Well, you got an open deck over there, so it's completely open, and that could be a plus for some people. Over here, you see, you kind of like the layout is changing. Now you're going up. And the tank well is like up, and
well, it's to make space for all the battery and everything that's going to be down below.
Exactly,
which is nice and out of the way. But you could stand back here, I'm sure.
But that could be a problem if something happens to your battery, and then you have your backpack here. You may have to start moving stuff around.
Yeah.
It could be an issue. Oh, I mean, yeah.
If you have stuff mounted up on the top here.
Exactly, but you do have space that maybe you can move it up a little bit, but it's still just There's always pros and cons to everything. Over here, they have the space for the battery on the back, but it's above the deck. If the battery is below, like with the water line, that is gonna be less heavy on the kayak. That's why they put the battery under.
Making it more stable.
Exactly, more stable, but also the water is carrying the weight. You know, when things are on the water, they weigh less. I don't know the science.
Yeah, it makes sense. But these days, you could get some really nice batteries that don't even weigh that much.
Oh yeah.
For instance, like this is a 36-volt Newport battery, and it weighs less than any 12-volt battery, lithium.
And you can use my code alias180, and it's gonna save you some money.
Save you money over that battery.
Yeah.
Over the others.
but you know who I like? Amped Outdoors.
And the Amped Outdoors batteries.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
To me, those are the best. No offense.
That was a
Newport.
special package Newport offered with the motor, so it came with it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense, right? Newport selling the motor, sell the battery
Yep.
too. And now we're back here. The motor, just 4 inserts. You could put the NK300, the NK180 professional like you have here. And this is not pre-plumbed, right? You're gonna have to route the steering cables and all the stuff. Yeah, I don't see it. You're gonna have to DIY it. What about this
to run
one?
the cables?
Yes, the steering cables.
The tubes are already there.
The tubes are there?
Yeah, the tubes are there. So see here?
Oh yeah, they are.
So you got your tubes. So this one won't be a big deal.
So this one is pre-plumbed.
Yeah.
Because these 2 holes are for that.
Yeah.
What about the STR? I don't see it.
This one here, no, we've rigged up a couple of them.
Yeah, but from factory it's not plumbed like that one.
Yeah.
That one already has a tubing.
I remember I had to put in some holes and run it through. So
exactly.
So that's a
this one,
benefit.
that's a benefit here. Less things you have to do.
Yeah.
And you also have the 4 inserts. But I don't see any power pole. You're gonna have to do it yourself. So you're gonna have to get access to this hatch and drill holes.
They did give you an access, so you can reach up in here. Here's you can see.
Yeah, you can see the rotors. And over here they don't have that. But for example, for power pole, well, I guess this one doesn't have the power pole thing either. Because it has one, but if you decide to use the motor, then that's it. They should have put more inserts on each side.
Alex, did you know that this one has a drop-down skeg?
I saw it earlier.
You see
Go ahead.
underneath there?
Yeah.
Can you see that skeg?
Yeah.
So that's going to hold you on the water. That's a nice feature to have a drop-down skeg. Here's where it's attached. The skeg mount is just up and down, and that's already pre-installed too.
That's a cool idea. Some people are gonna say that they stole it from Hobie.
Yeah. But you have access to that skeg and these cables right here. Also the mounting plates if you need to reach up inside.
I like that they included the rotor plumbing thingy, so you could just add the cables and the rotor. But I'm concerned that they didn't add more inserts to these areas. Bonafide did partially, but not completely.
Why not for a micro anchor?
Yeah, because a lot of people just gonna put their motors on the back. I get it.
In fact, this customer here has a Tactical Pro, and he bought the micro anchor, so he's gonna run into that issue.
Unless he's just gonna bow mount it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where, but he bought this micro anchor.
I have that one. It's nice.
With it. And I'm not sure how he's going to mount it, but
yeah.
This is another color that they offer this in, is the camo.
The camo.
But yeah, this one I was going to show you could look up underneath.
I like this color better. And that's another thing I want to say. This blue is better than that one over there. For me, in my book. But some people like the green. I think both of them have their strength and weakness. It's really hard to pick one over the other. I mean,
well, now price is an issue. You know, the price difference is substantial.
That's right.
So the regular price on this one is $28.99, and this one here is $23.99.
Wow.
It's $500 difference between these two. So.
I know. If I was a consumer, I'm thinking leaning towards a Tactical.
Yeah, $500.
Makes
it's
a
lot.
difference.
You can buy a lot of accessories.
Wait,
for something.
wait. So $500, you could buy out of boat smart head. Well, part of it, you still need a little more money, but you could buy a motor to put on your bow right here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this thing is nice, looks great and everything. I will personally buy one, but my personal opinion here.
We're just giving you the comparison. It's up to you. It's like they're both good boats. Both of these are going to be good boats for the guys that's looking for this type of boat. So
100%.
They're just different.
I came here with the idea in my head that if I had to choose, I will get the STR, right? Because I've been on it. I like Bonafide, all that stuff. This is new, but comparing them side to side, I feel more like this is gonna fit my fishing better.
A lot of features and benefits.
A lot of less things that I had to do to it too. Like the rudder, I just need to run the cables through. That's it. That's huge. But hey, you know what? You could come here to David and he's gonna run the cables for you and you pick the boat that you want.
We'll help you out as best we can.
That's right.
We're in Auburndale, Florida. Action Watersports in Auburndale.